we're creeping closer and closer, and maybe tonight you will end up having two teams that we know will play for an NBA championship. But we know one team that will play. It'll be the Boston Celtics. Second time in 3 years they get to the NBA Finals. And I think that's important. I understand that we hold them in some sort of unrealistic regard, that anything less than a championship is a disappointment for the Celtics. Not because they've won it before, but because, well, they had the best record. They've been to the finals before. And even prior to getting to the NBA Finals, they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, the Celtics have been consistently atop the Eastern Conference for the last decade. But it's weird. It's really weird how we make it so. We make it that way. You know, like, look around in the NBA and you tell me a franchise that has been as consistently competitive in the playoffs as the Boston Celtics. Can't find one. And getting to a second NBA Finals in 3 years is huge, because the first time, didn't feel like they were ready for it. Might have been a year early. And, you know, we see this a lot with the Eastern Conference Finals. Atlanta's gotten to one. We've had other teams get to it, where they get to the conference finals and you think they're better than they actually are. But the NBA Finals, we saw the Thunder get to one, but then they traded Harden, and we haven't seen them get to one since. For this team, the expectation was for them to return. Now they've lived up to those expectations. Here's the Celtics head coach on Jaylen Brown's growth.
Credit to him, he has a growth mindset, so he's never afraid to work on weakness. He's never afraid to go after something that makes him uncomfortable. And between him and Tony and the player development staff, like, they put him in any and every situation possible.
Here is Jaylen Brown, who, of course, won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, on that award.
I wasn't expecting that at all. You know, I'll never win, so I was just happy that we won. And give credit to Indiana. You know, they played us tough. I know, like, people think that Indiana wasn't a good team or whatever the case may be. I mean, I thought they were as tough as anybody we played all season.
Well, I think what happens is you don't have Tyrese Haliburton the last two games. And look, they've been depleted, and the Pacers wouldn't have gotten there unless the competition they played were depleted. But, you know, you don't have Tyrese Haliburton, and though they were wounded and they were fighting, the big thing is the Pacers led in the fourth quarter, led late in the game in the fourth quarter, in all four of the games. So a lot of this is based upon your expectations, right? If your expectations are that if your expectations were that the Boston Celtics were the best team in the NBA, and that they, because Indiana was depleted, they had to stomp out the Pacers, well, you might have been disappointed by the path to that 4-0 series sweep. But if your expectations were just, hey, here's two good teams in the Eastern Conference and one team won 4 games in a row, you would have come out and said, hey, Boston Celtics look pretty good. It's all completely based upon, because whatever your perspective is on the Celtics, Cleveland pushed them to the max, right? And then Cleveland broke down and had injuries. Indy was pushing them to the max, and then Indy had injuries. So if your expectations are, hey, they're just so much better than the competition, yeah, I'd say they're a little disappointing. But they also haven't had Porzingis. They haven't been healthy in their own right. And just winning any games in this tournament is really, really hard. One time in the NBA Finals, Jayson Tatum doesn't play well. He's young. It's his first time. We grant you a bit of a pass. 2 times, you get labeled. That's what's really at stake here for this team. One time they could have guys in Brown and Tatum especially, that didn't play well against the Golden State Warriors. But 2 times, well, it's a different story. And as we get ready to watch Luka and Kyrie very, very likely win tonight, I've been telling you guys, I think that Luka's the best player on earth. He hit a step back over an outstretched arm of Rudy Gobert, which, by the way, somehow now has become bad defense. Like, yeah, I would have double-teamed him as soon as he gets the ball and, get the ball out of his hands. Make somebody else beat you. And that's basketball 101 is when Luka Doncic gets the ball, double-team him, make somebody else beat you. And if he gets it back again, double-team him again. They chose not to do so. Gobert's defense wasn't bad. He's 7 feet tall. His hand was up. It's just a great shot. But I do think that there's an immense amount of pressure here on Tatum. That the Celtics, though they're going to get healthy, and the presumption is that Porzingis plays, he hasn't played. And there has to be at least looming the last time they were in the NBA Finals, Jayson Tatum didn't play well. And if you don't do it for two consecutive, or the two consecutive NBA Finals you're in, you start to earn a label. You just do. So, I don't know. Like, I get that you could take Gobert out. It was a timeout. They had the ball in. I don't understand why you wouldn't double team him. Just double team. They set a little ball screen, you switch, and I know that side was cleared, but just make somebody. It's like Sport 101. Take away what somebody else does best. Did you not know a step back was coming from Luka Doncic? I don't know. Buyer, am I crazy here? Like, that's the easy solution here. And, obviously I understand you're listening at home or you're driving and you're like, here's a guy who's coaching and he's never coached a game yet in college basketball. And he's telling a really talented NBA head coach what he should do. No, I'm just saying with Sports 101. Who'd you think was going to take the game-winning shot?
I think we all knew at that point.
Right?
Yes.
I don't. That's the part of it that I don't understand. It's not that, because the people that are crushing Gobert defensively, I didn't think he looked particularly bad. Yes, it looks like his legs are getting all tangled up, but he recovered. He had a hand up. That's just a great shot. But why is he even being able to make that shot instead of make somebody else beat you? I don't know. And then there's the whole do you enjoy Luka thing, because he does complain a ton. But I think people are starting to buy into Luka because they like a little trash talk, and his reaction, although he said it was in Slovenian, sure looked like he was talking some ish when he hit that game winner.